So by now, the Uncharted 4 DLC, The Lost Legacy, is in stores and online. This follows the game developer Naughty Dog's many successes financially and critically, and to be honest, they're a darling for yours truly. Because in a video game industry that so often seems to ignore what its customers want, it seems that it really cares about you, the consumer. I mean, to be honest, them, CD Projekt Red, and indie teams that make their bread and butter talking to you directly are the only ones I see really listening and making content for their fans based on that. Naughty Dog themselves seem to have hit a Marvel-like streak in hitting gold with each new title they release. Even their HD remasters of Uncharted and Crash Bandicoot have gone down a treat, and we know how badly that can go. Yeah. Let's not go there. Lost Legacy, despite the likely wailing cries from men and women children alike lamenting the lack of Nathan Drake, looks like it'll deliver a good solid chunk of Uncharted from 10 to 12 hours of gameplay with a more open world feel. Sounds like a slam dunk, right? And yet at $60 Australian, why do I not want to pre-order this? It's not like the perks aren't cool, and it's not like I won't eventually get the game anyway, providing there's not a tidal wave of bad reviews of No Man's Sky proportions. So what's my problem? Well, to be honest, too often in games it feels like to buy a product at the time of its release is almost pointless. In the worst cases, for example Injustice Gods Among Us, to play any new character's release over time since release costs you more than a pretty penny on top of the retail price of the game. Then, when all is said and done, like many times before, the game is released again under a Game of the Year edition. Why pay a huge amount of money on release when I know the game in its entirety will come out at a later date? Well, as far as it goes for me, I don't really have a choice in this regard. I already bought Uncharted 4 at my local game store, and buying it again in its entirety has no value for me. I'm in a rock and a hard place. It's sad, but it's true. We've been burned before with DLC season passes, from disappointing entries to different editions being shoved in at the last minute, and screw the money you spent on the premise that you would receive everything. Pay up or shut up. Don't get me wrong, guys. I want Naughty Dog to keep hitting homers for as long as they can. When they do well, I feel a little less jaded about companies that practice awful customer priorities, or a sincere wish to appease but a lack of know-how about how online stores work. But I'm concerned about Naughty Dog and the game industry's continued taking advantage of the DLC boom, where we can have great times, and times of trial. So is the game worth a pre-order? Again, like everything stated, it entirely depends. If you haven't played yet, maybe hold out and wait for the inevitable re-release of DLC and game together. The fact of the matter is, until we put our foot down and say no universally to DLC-only content, game devs will continue to split their content between retail purchases and inevitably copying up much more down the line. The question is, how much do you want to trust a company that, while having shown a real commitment to their fans, their stories, and breaking the mold and showing the potential of what games can do, is still a business, and is out to make money? Your money. That trust you have shows. That, after all, is all you have when you put through your credit card numbers and roll the dice. You hope it will be good. But hey, if you haven't played Jak and Daxter Precursor Legacy, maybe cough up the dough and have a good time with Chloe and Nadine, and then Anotzel and his big-eared friend. I know I will. Eventually. G'day guys, Jak in Action here, and thank you very much for watching this first episode of Jak Yak. If you have any suggestions for what I should talk about next week, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe, it really does help us out and lets us know if you're enjoying the content. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys on the internet. Jak in Action out.